This is the murder of Bladimy Mathurin and Chinwai Mode. Bladimy Mathurin, 47, and his stepson Chinwai Mode were both of Haitian descent. Bladimy lived in the East Flatbush section of Brooklyn, New York, with his wife and his daughter, along with his stepson Chinwai. Bladimy was a school bus driver that worked for the district in which he lived. Bladimy and his family was just trying to make the best life they could for themselves in the United States. They were hardworking people striving for the best that life had to offer. It is unclear when the rift started between Bladimy and his neighbor Jason Pass, also 47. The two men seemed to be at odds with each other for a while, until finally it came to the tipping point. On Sunday, October 29, 2023, around 10:40 p.m., Bladymy's wife exited her apartment door and exchanged words with Jason Pass, her neighbor. Shortly thereafter, Bladimy came out of his apartment with a pair of scissors and confronted Jason Pass. Two men continued to exchange words for a short while. It is unclear what was said between the two because the video surveillance camera had no audio, just footage. Shortly after, Pass, the neighbor, pulled out a handgun. Bladimy spotted the gun but waved it off. He turns around and begins walking towards his apartment, at which time the neighbor opened the fire and struck Bladimy Mathurin, who falls to the floor. Mode, Bladymy's stepson, who was also in the hallways, tried to get away from the gunman, but the neighbor fires multiple shots at him, including at least twice after he had collapsed in a pool of his own blood next to a staircase. Jason Pass then stood over Chinwai Mode and his stepfather, Bladimy Mathurin, and shot them execution style again. It was an overkill, and the anger that was in Jason Pass shown through and the shots that he fired at the victims. The saddest moment of this event was when Jason Pass realized that Bladimy was still alive and was trying to crawl to his door to get away from him. He stood over him and made sure that he never made it there and shot him in the head. This was a deliberate and planned attack by Jason Pass. After killing the father and stepson, Jason Pass calmly observed the grisly crime scene that he had created before stepping into an elevator. When paramedics arrived on the scene, they found Bladimy and his stepson with multiple gunshot wounds to the head and torso. Bladimy Mathurin's inconsolable wife, Maria DeLilly, said her family, originally from Haiti, has been locked in a year-long dispute about noises with their downstairs neighbor. On Sunday night, the fed-up resident began banging on his ceiling over the loud sound supposedly coming from Bladimy and DeLilly apartment. Bladimy banged back, prompting the neighbor to rush upstairs and kick the family's door, according to DeLilly. Maria DeLilly told reporters that this man hates us with every bone in his body. As it was seen on surveillance camera and as mentioned before, Bladimy argued with the neighbor and seemingly threatened him with a pair of scissors before the suspect opened fire. But Maria DeLilly insisted that her husband was not at fault. She stated, "My husband had no gun, no weapon. Why did you bring a gun to shoot my family? Why would you bring a gun to tear my family apart?" Jason Pass fired 9 shots at Bladimy and son in front of their couple's 10-year-old daughter before he walked into the elevator. Bladimy worked 2 jobs, driving a school bus by day and working as an Uber driver on the side to provide for their 4 children, Maria stated. In his spare time, he enjoyed bodybuilding. Bladimy was a very hard-working man that was just trying to provide for his children and make sure that their needs were met. Unfortunately, his life had to be taken away because of somebody's hot temper. Bladimy was a muscular guy. He looks intimidating, but that's not who he was. He was a wonderful guy, family friend Michaela Lewis stated. On Wednesday, November the 1st, 2023, at 7 a.m. near Bay 44th Street and Bath Avenue close to Grayson, a largely working-class neighborhood in Brooklyn, police approached a driver later identified as Jason Pass. He ran out of the building holding a 6-inch knife pointed at the police. Officers chased him to 187 Bay 44th Street, where they stopped him and contained him, said John Sell, the department chief of patrol, at a separate news conference. The officer talked to Mr. Jason Pass for about 15 minutes, doing everything they could to persuade him to drop the knife, Chief Shell said. Mr. Pass told the officers that this situation was not going to end well, and he sprinted at the officers, pointing the knife at them. The officers did everything that they could to prevent from killing Mr. Pass, but ultimately he didn't give them a chance, and he was shot 3 times in the chest and once in the leg by the New York City police officers. Jason Pass died of his injuries at New York City Langone Hospital in Brooklyn later on that day. The New York City Police Department stated that they were still investigating how many officers were involved and whether more than one officer fired shot at Jason Pass, causing him to die. The police department also did not immediately provide body camera footage of the episode and said the investigation continued. Back in Brooklyn at Jason Pass' apartment, a woman declined to comment or open the door, calling the situation a tragedy. And indeed it was. The shooting of Bladimy Mathurin and his stepson Chinwai has left their neighbors in the Flatbush apartment building scared and afraid for their lives, as many of them had bullet holes in their doors from the apparent shooting, and thank God that no one was injured or hurt by this reckless behavior. There have to be a better way to resolve conflicts among grown adults. My prayers and condolences go out to Maria Del Lilly and her 4 other children that she had with Bladimy Mathurin, and for the passing of her beloved son Chinwai. It must be devastating and a horrible situation to have to face a double murder that took the life of your husband and son. May Bladimy and Chinwai rest in eternal peace. Until next time on the Meaningful Talk Crime Doc, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch up with you guys later in the comment section.